Mr. Shandy M. Hubilia, to give us a message.
Thank you, sir. Sir Triunfante. I just have having a difficulty with my connection. So good afternoon, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Maray na hapon po sa Togabos. So I'm happy to be a part of this kumbaga trailblazing activity. And I've been connected since about 9 o'clock, 9:30 this morning. So I'm pleasantly surprised with what I saw po. No? So basically, as a Bicolano myself, I am very proud of this forum and what we have accomplished so far and will still accomplish in the next few months and years, down the road. So the Philippine Rural Development Project starts with commodity prioritization. And when we talk about commodity prioritization and the Bicol region, talagang hindi po natin pwedeng pabayaan ang pili, no? So pretty much like abaca. But in terms of the potential of this commodity and this product, talagang nandun po So nakita naman po natin sa mga video. So, but first of all, I would like to acknowledge all the pili champions who are here. So let me acknowledge Congressman Edsel Lagman, our very own pili champion. Of course, Director Roberto Ronilla of DA Region 5. And he is also the Regional Project Coordination Office Director of PRDP for Region 5. And of course, all the representatives of the pili industry value chain players and Agri and Fishery Council, all the government agencies here present, lahat po ng representatives of the pili research community, and of course, the Bicol University, our very able and competent partner in this endeavor, led by University President and Project Leader Dr. Arnulfo Mascareñas and the team. Magandang hapon po, maray na hapon. Assistant Project Team Leader Dr. Viola Amano, Ms. Jet Mojados, and Mr. Carlo Gabriel Abante, and all the project component leaders. My colleagues from the PRDP, students of the Bicol University, and our other esteemed guests and participants. So it's a very great milestone what we are doing right now in terms of this industry. And I know that the private sector, Ms. Rosalina Tan, whom I know personally, been of course an ardent champion of this of pili, no? So I think marami na po tayong I think engagement with her, and I think yun nga, the key message really here is that we both in government and in the private sector, of course the research community, our state universities and colleges who are here to work together to bring this tree of hope, no? Kasi nga for Bicol, this is really a tree of hope, no? A commodity of hope. And kung makikita niyo po talaga, wala namang ibang mayo man ning pili na arog ka ni kadakol, no, sa ibang rehiyon ning sa tuyang nasyon. So we hope to talagang hindi lang yung pili, but of course the whole region would be really uplifted in the process of developing, championing pili. So, and this yung pong ating pinopondohan ngayon ay just one of the many or several sub-projects that we are trying to fund and partner with, of course, like Bicol University and the private sector. So meron din po tayong enterprise development component, meron po din tayong infrastructure development component. In fact, the enterprise development component, I think, has been approved way back in 2018 doon sa ating Sorsogon, specifically for Pili. So meron po tayong processing and marketing doon with Gobat and 2 other municipalities. So basically what we really intend to do is, syempre pag Pili po in terms of Bicol, it's really Sorsogon for now. But in terms of processing, so may role din po dyan yung iba't ibang probinsya, specifically yung ating Albay at yung ating Camarines Sur and all the other provinces also, the mainland provinces of Bicol. And we hope that the 17 transferable technologies identified out of the 32 Pili researches will really trigger the interest. And I think this is the real purpose of this activity, will trigger the interest of our private sector players through this forum. And we also hope, so that's the keyword, hope, that through our government agency partners as well, these transferable technologies will also be disseminated through this growing network and partnership. And we also hope that the other outputs of this technology assessment and geomapping project will be utilized specifically in the planning processes of our many stakeholders. So andyan po ang DA to steer, and of course, more importantly, the many LGUs of Bicol as the rowers or implementers. And of course, you have the specific programs of the Department of Agriculture. We have the Philippine Rural Development Project. We have the High Value Commodity Development Program, whose director is also a Bicolano in the person of Director Unicols Manalo. And other relevant agencies that will trigger the increased investments for this very important industry that we have in Bicol. And of course, we also hope that students will learn, gain insights, and realize the massive opportunities as we have seen in the videos and the presentations earlier offered by this very important commodity. So in PRDP, our byline and our mantra is enabling communities and expanding opportunities. So I think yun po ang nakita natin through the various presentations and videos, infographics, that indeed there is an opportunity that can be had and can be developed in terms of its income and productivity potential for Pili. So with this engagement with the Bicol University as our partner in rural development, I believe that we will be able to, capitalize on this activity to really start a meaningful and a more broader and meaningful conversation, dialogue towards rural development, especially in the Bicol region. So maray na hapon po sa Toga, boss. Maray na udto pa lang. And God bless.
Thank you, Director Jubilia, for your very inspiring message of support. So we have come now to the open forum. For inquiries and questions, participants here in Zoom can use the chat box, while those watching in Facebook live streaming may use the FB comment section. At this point, may I call in Professor Joyce Camille Sepe, the technical staff of BU Center for Technology Commercialization and Enterprise Development, to act as the moderator.
Thank you very much, Sir Kalayaan, for the introduction. And likewise, good afternoon to our speakers. And just like what Sir Shandy has mentioned earlier, champions of the pili industry in the region. So let's start the ball rolling. We have here a question from our Facebook viewer. So the speakers could answer, any of our speakers could answer the question, whichever is appropriate in their field of expertise. So we have here the first question from one of our Facebook viewers. The question is, does the powdered pili pulp lose its oil if our purpose is oil extraction from the pili pulp? So this question was raised during the presentation of Sir Chris Millena of the OST. So I guess it will be the best if Sir Chris could answer the question himself. Sir?
Good afternoon. Yes. It depends on the extraction, no? So yes, if you extract the oil actually from the pulp, it loses, no? As I mentioned earlier by Ma'am Minday, it will give you the pomace, no? But based from the studies, no, if you look at the effect of pomace, no, this pomace has an effect, for example, or use. There are studies that shows that the pomace can still be digested, and there could be a bioavailable phytochemicals or polyphenols from this sample. To answer the question, yes, it may affect the content, no, kasi aalisin natin si oil from the pulp. Okay. And it may vary on the method on how you extract the content of the oil that can retain dun po sa fiber.
Thank you very much for that, Sir Christopher. Let's now have a question from Mr. Solomon Tarala. This question is raised for Professor Maria Asuncion Oronan. Can you give us the daily requirements of pili intake for human consumption?
I think ako pa rin yung magsasagot ng question.
All right, sir. Ma'am Oronan, you're on mute po. Sir Christopher, can we have your input after Madam Oronan has answered or shared her input as well? Thank you po. Professor.
Okay, so good din po. With regards to the daily intake, I think it would be more proper if somebody in the nutrition sector would answer for that. But I would gladly give the floor to Sir Millena, being a chemist. Thank you.
All right, Sir Christopher, the floor has been transferred to you. Thank you, sir.
So based from our study, based from the recommended nutrient intake or the RNI for adult 19 to 29 years old, the daily nutritional requirements, for example, in terms of kernel, the 30 grams, that is around 45 pieces of the pili pulp, can provide us the pulp, no, can provide us, for example, for our can satisfy the daily nutritional requirement in terms of calcium, magnesium, manganese, iron, zinc, and copper. And also for the kernel, it provides nutritional requirement for calcium, magnesium, manganese, iron, zinc, copper, and also eating around 30 grams or 5 pieces of the pili pulp can provide can satisfy the daily dietary fiber requirement for in maintaining for the nutrient requirement of our body.
Just a follow-up question, Sir Chris. We
Yes,
have
ma'am.
here a question from one of our viewers. Are pili nuts rich in amino acids?
Um, I have studies pero hindi ko pa pwedeng ilabas kasi hindi
Okay,
ko pa
okay.
siya na-publish. But the variety in terms of pulp, there are, what do you call this? Ano ko ba sabihin? There is a limiting amino acid and there are amino acid na medyo mataas sa PD. For example, methionine and other cysteine, but as to provide you an idea, alanine, arginine, medyo wala po yung pili natin.
Sorry, but I was also listening to your presentation a while ago, and I have here some questions from myself. From your study, reckoning to your study on physicochemical characteristics. So, if you could share to our viewers, which of the pili varieties that were subjected under your study are superior in terms of physicochemical characteristics, and second, which of these varieties are a rich source of essential minerals?
Yeah. Generally, all the varieties, they are almost have these minerals, but it may vary from one, it may vary the concentration. The content, or for example, they have sodium, potassium, but the content may vary. No? This study provide information that the variety affects the concentration. No? So in terms of the pulp, for example, if you want to venture into the pulp that very good insoluble, which is very important in nutrition, you can the superiors in terms of Mayon 1, Magnaye, Lanusa, Lysa, and also M. Orolfo. But if you want to plant, or ang pakay natin is the kernel itself, the Orbasi, Magayon, and Magnaye, they are almost equal. They do not have the significant difference in terms of the weight of the kernel. But if your production requires toppings, which requires very small, the M. Orolfo is good planting material because it provides you more fruit, but quite smaller kernel.
Thank you very much, Sir Chris, for answering the queries of our Facebook viewers, and likewise my queries as the moderator as well. We have here a question from Sir Luis Amano. So he's asking if he could ask the question himself. So Sir Amano, please go ahead.
Sir Chris, thank you very much for the information given us.
Yes.
Now, would like to ask this question. At the moment, we don't have really specific varieties being sold by the farmers.
Yes.
We observe that they are sold in mixtures of different varieties.
Yes.
Now, was there a study conducted analyzing the composition of this mixture of these varieties? Para at least given the situation, tatanungin tayo ngayon, ano ba talaga ang average ganon, Sir, thank you very much po.
Okay, to answer that, sir, there is no study that uses a mixture of varieties. But other studies, iba po yung design nila. Hindi nila identify yung variety, So for us to provide information, we can provide siguro the ranges based from these varieties. For example, what are the mineral content, what are the fat content of the pulp, protein content of this kernel and pulp. We can provide ranges, I think, sir, to satisfy the requirement lalo na for us to market, no, we cannot market this pili nut to international country without establishing this very basic, actually, what do you call this, basic information. Compared to other, no, as I mentioned earlier, one of the problem, for example, in the Europe, we have a very limited study in terms of the safety assessment. In the 2021, there is a reported, the latest reported in the scientific community. There is a first reported allergic reaction in the United States in terms of the pili nut. This is in terms of the young girl. I think that's 3 years old. That is published in the I'm sorry. This was a State to Pili Nut by Elizabeth. These are the physicians in 2021. So yeah, the safety assessment is one of the problem. Kaya hindi natin na, for example, na-ban po yung pili nuts sa European country because wala pong masyadong safety assessment ng nuts natin. So there is a very big gap in terms of these studies. But for your inquiry, sir, there is no mixture, but we can provide, I think, the ranges. No.
Sir, excuse me, follow up. See, I'm anticipating kasi si Ma'am Tan is on the business, di ba?
Yeah.
Yun na, later on siguro, kasi si Ma'am Tan kasi bumibili siya ng oil. Di ba, bumibili siya ng oil. Wala siyang parang magiging basis. Ano ba mga range ng mga ganitong ano? Yeah. I think malaking tulong sa kanya if mabibigyan siya ng idea on the range of this these mixtures. Tingnan mo, sir. Salamat po.
Thank you.
Can I react?
Yes, Miss Madam Rosalina Tan.
Yes, tama po yung sinabi ni Director Amano ba? Yes. Alam mo niyo, yung pag-export namin ng mga product, ang isang problema namin, the color, the consistency of the color, nag-change eh. Kaya parang ang hirap din sa amin. So we want to identify na tama yan. Kung anong variety, ganyan ang kulay niya. Yung anong variety, ganyan. Kasi ang binibili namin, halo-halo yun eh. Kaya it's always walang consistency. Kaya maganda din magkaroon ng study para mas yung quality natin, we set a high standard na consistent ang quality. Thank you.
Yeah. To add that, ma'am, because of if you see, hindi lang siguro na present the study or kanina sa presentation, but the pulp itself, the pulp color may vary. There are varieties wherein the pulp mayroong pigment mismo yung pulp. For example, the pigmented pulp are mayon and also magayon. But there are pulp that is yellow in color. For example, the Lysa. And there are pulp that is quite greenish, that is Rolfo. So I think if you want to look into that, maybe we can consider this a selection of varieties.
Thank you very much, Sir Chris, for the very fruitful and insightful sharing and answering of the queries from Sir Luis and likewise Madam Tan. So this reckons me to one of the questions raised by one of our Facebook viewers. I guess it will be best if Madam Rosalina Tan and Ma'am Yi will be addressing this query. So the question is, if pili nut can compete with cashew and almond in terms of texture and taste, then why does pili does not receive attention from the international market? Ma'am Tan and this will be followed by Ma'am Yi.
Palagay ko, siguro kasi konti eh. Actually, ang unang problema namin, ngayon sa PhilPili namin, PhilPili board, ang unang problema na inalis namin is to plant more pili trees. Kasi to plant more pili trees, saka yung variety, you have to select the variety, which one is the best, para may consistency. So yan ang unang problema. Kulang na kulang ang pili nuts natin. Parang niche market lang tayo ngayon. Actually, noon nung nasa exhibit kami, may nagtatanong, how many container? Wala naman. I cannot answer. I do not even know the inventories of our trees. Kaya hirap kung aabante, we are going to go full blast o medyo yung volume ang kulang pa. So plant more pili trees. Talagang kulang na kulang tayo. Number one is the kaya ang ginawa namin sa pili, nakaroon kami ng accreditation of nursery. Very important yung nursery. Dapat yung tamang variety ang tatanim. Yan. Pwede din si Joris Joris, the president of PPD now. Yan.
Yes, Ma'am Tan. We can have the input of the PhilPili president after Ms. Yi has shared her insights also as to the query of one of our Facebook viewers. Thank you very much, Ma'am Tan. Ma'am Yi?
Good morning. Actually, hindi nakikilala ang pili nuts natin internationally because sabi nga ni Ma'am Lina, less ang production and information as well. Parang kumbaga less ang promo information regarding pili nuts, especially the processed nuts sa international market. And may suggestion po, siguro much better if all the pili interest join or participate in international trade fairs. That is one suggestion. Outbound mission, international, much better. Siguro talaga makakatulong yan sa promotion ng pili nuts and this ongoing virtual investment forum makakatulong po. Actually, several trade fairs internationally joined and talagang nahihirapan kami to explain about pili, maraming tanong, and yun, joining trade fair international. So at least promote namin yung pili, processed pili as well as oil. Yun po ang parang nakikita ko na isang solution na at least ma-promote ang pili international.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Melinda. Let's now have the president of PhilPili to share his insights. Sir Joris.
Yes, magandang tanghali. Ako ang nakikita kong dagdag na solusyon dyan para ma-promote ng gusto ang pili natin. Makilala siya on the national level muna. Kasi sa PhilPili, kaya namin sinabi na it must be a national commodity, hindi lang sa regional commodity. Kasi kung mismo sa Pilipinas, hirap tayong maintindihan kung ano ang pili, how much more tayo makakapag-move sa global market. In fact, kung captured mo yung buong Pilipinas, baka hindi mo na kailangan sa global. Di ba? Kung buong Pilipinas kumakain ng pili at kinikilala nila ang pili bilang isang national commodity, lalaki ang pondo ng itatapon sa pili industry. Maraming magagamit na pondo ang mga entrepreneurs. Makakapagtingin tayo ng isang direction at isang pagkilos. Samantalang kung masyado siyang regional, makikipag-away pa tayo sa iba-ibang mga commodities. So, katulad ng kasoy, na national commodity na ang kategorya niya, like coconuts. So, alam naman ng lahat na manggaling yan sa Bicol. Pero sana, pag tinignan natin as an investment, as a commodity, it must be known as Pilipinas pili, hindi yung Bicol lang. Kasi kung tutusin, marami na rin regions ang nagtanim. Nakabuti yon para sa mga negosyante. Kasi yung availability ng raw mats, masusustain. Hindi katulad nung Bicol lang, pag binagyo yung buong Bicol, wala kang mabiling pili. Paano ka ngayon uusad sa international market kung walang raw mats? Paano pala yung investment mo kung wala kang raw mats na mabili ngayon? So kaya we encourage it na maging national commodity siya at mas marami ring regions ang magtanim para hindi naman siguro babagyo yung buong Pilipinas. So, pero most of the time, nasa Bicol ang bagyo. So malaking tulong yon kung maging national ang scope o national commodity ang pili. So mas maraming resources ang maibubuhos sa industriya. Yun lang po, ma'am.
Can I add on that?
Thank you, Sir Joris. Let's have Sir Christopher.
One of the problem based from my researches are the production. So medyo konti pa kaya hindi masyado nakikilala yung pili sa international because we cannot supply the demand. No. Another problem is that we have to look into this because we all know that pili is major production or the major producer is the Philippines. But there are studies that I've searched. They already planting pili nut in Malaysia, in Sabah, Malaysia. So baka mamaya mawala po yung pili sa atin. So there should be a control, especially in the seeding material, kung saan ano ba talagang stand natin for this pili industry. And also doon po sa plantation, maybe we could look into that from the Department of Agriculture because pili nut has requirement para to grow. Kung bakit po andito siya sa Bicol region, may mga reasons po yan. So I think from the Department of Agriculture can answer this.
Thank you very much, Sir Chris, for sharing to us your insights. So as we see, the question that was raised by one of our viewers seeks the interplay between the government agencies that is involved in cultivating the pili industry within the region and the nation as well. So I guess that Sir Christopher a while ago has mentioned that the Department of Agriculture should address some concerns regarding this in terms of the reasons why pili should be in Bicol region and not anywhere else in the Philippines, and also why pili industry should thrive in the region and not in any countries around the world. So I guess I will leave the sharing to Department of Agriculture this time. So any representative from the Department of Agriculture?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes. So, actually, ang talagang sama yung sinabi ni Sir Joris na dapat talaga i-promote ang pili as national crop. Kasi as flagship crop ng Bicol, sa ngayon, nahihirapan tayong i-comply ang raw mats. Kung yung nasabi niyo ang raw stand. So, the number one concern talaga ngayon is area expansion. So, kailangan natin plant more trees. Pero pagdating natin sa pili varieties, may hirapan tayo ngayon kasi kukunti pa ang science source natin, paano natin i-propagate yun. So, the more we encourage the nursery operators na magkaroon ng science group using our pili varieties. Then expand more areas. As of now, ang Department of Agriculture through the High Value Crops Development Program, we continue propagating yung asexually propagated pili, and yearly may target po kami na pinimimigay pero hindi po yun sapat. So kailangan natin ng private partner gaya ni Ma'am Rostan na encourage more farmers to plant pili na talagang sabi nga kung ipopulate pa natin ang buong Bicol, hindi pa yun sapat. So we need plant more trees, buong Pilipinas kung pwede. And number one po na nasabi kanina na mayroon na sa ibang bansa. Pero ang nandun po, not the Canarium o Batum. Mayroon po doon, yung maliliit po yung bunga niya, not for processing po yon. So the number one concern ngayon talaga, and sabi ko, ito, pinagmamalaki namin, the Albay Research and Development Center is the only source of our pili varieties. Nandito po sa amin ang mother plant. So we need to propagate, we need more support, fund support po, para po maparami po natin to. Kasi we need to hire more propagators, we need to expand our area na ginagawa namin ngayon. In-expand namin ang science group for our pili varieties. So nandito si Ma'am Roxtan and the Pili, si Ma'am Melinda Yee, and other stakeholders, and the academy siguro, i-promote natin na we need to expand more areas and plant more pili trees in Bicol region.
Thank you very much, Sir Ronald, for sharing to us your insights. So we have here is that a follow-up question, sir? So let's first have Sir Louie, and to be followed by Ma'am Tan. Okay, thank you.
Kay Sir, kay Sir Ronald. Sir Ronald.
Yes.
Sir Ronald. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think, sa ngayon kasi, ang isang magandang business is the nursery business, di ba?
Yes, number one.
With the identified varieties that we have now, kaya bang, meron na ba tayong na-identify from the DA side na kumuha ng inyong mga sexually propagated para at least pwede silang maging source ng sayon? Na matitrace ba natin ngayon kung saan ba dinala yung mga binili sa inyo? Meron ba tayong records? Anong variety kinuha nila? Saan nila dinala? Para at least yung mga tao interested to plant that kind of variety ay pwede nilang mapuntahan. Kasi sa ngayon kasi, parang yung station ninyo could not support, di ba? Sa maraming demand, the station cannot support. Kaya we could parang lead them kung sino bumili sa inyo ng ganitong variety, o doon kayo bumili ng mga sayon. Yun lang ang ko dyan, recommendation ko. Thank you po.
Okay po. Good afternoon, sir. Actually, ang Albay Research and Development Center, may pinabibili po kami. On the record po, naka-record po sa amin sa database namin kung sino po ang bumili at saan po ang location nila. And number one pong nirecommend natin mga expert, yung accredited nurseries natin, i-require namin to plant the varieties. So, ito po, mayroon po tayo ngayon identified kung nasaan ang mga varieties nito. Si Mr. Kabingan po, Kabingan Nursery Farm, nasa Daet Seed Farm, mayroon po tayo, then sa Source Secondary Farm. Identified po sila as source of our pili varieties. Then the regional nursery po, mayroon po yun.
Thank you, sir. Salamat po.
Yes, po. And additional info po, ang Albay Research and Development Center dito po sa Buang, Tabaco City, mayroon po kami ngayon existing 87 tag trees, foundation trees po. Nandito po ang source.
No variety.
All right, thank you, sir. Ronald, let's now have Ma'am Rosalina.
Ang po sa akin, dapat mag-i-stricto ang DA, mag-ban ng export ng seedling natin. Kasi mauunahan tayo ng ibang bansa. Actually, I think there's the law yata, bawal magpalabas ng seedling. But they have to be strict. Di ba dandaan yan sa Bureau Plan? Quarantine, gano'n. Kailangan very strict tayo kasi mawawala. Alam ko marami na nakalusot. Noon marami nagtatanong sa akin. Gusto lang bumili ng seeds para mag-plant. Sabi ko, hindi, bawal yan sa amin. Lagi ko sinasabi, bawal yan. Kung ano pa yung local na nakahanap para mag-export niyan, inaaway ko. Inaaway ko. Sabi ko, bakit mo ipapalabas yan? Mawawala sa atin. Yan. Yun po. Yun lang. Kailangan stricto lang tayo paglabas ng statement.
Opo, ma'am. Natandaan mo, Ma'am Rose, nung tayo pa yung sa Pili Board, gumawa tayo ng parang resolutions na talagang nandun yung nakasaad na kailangan nating talagang i-restrict ang paglabas ng ating raw materials or the planting materials para at least yung sabi natin, identify talaga na dapat tayo ang pili source na Bicol. So siguro as ngayon, kung talagang i-strengthen po natin yon, yung sa policy making po natin, gawin po natin, as recognized naman po ang pili, so magkaroon po tayo agad na ulit ng resolutions na i-restrict ang ganitong mga activities para at least ma-protect po natin na ang pili ay para sa Bicol.
Thank you very much, Sir Ronald. So I hope that responds to the query concern that was raised by Ms. Tan. We have here one, I guess Sir Joris has to share something po. Sir Joris?
Yes, we would like to request the DA5 to help us endorse to the national government, national DEA, that we pass a resolution for the prohibition of exporting planting materials, especially on Canarium families. Because actually, we should not be worried about other countries that will be planting, because worldwide, in the Philippines, you only have 3 species. And in other parts of the world, there are also other species native to their place. So we don't have to worry so much about it because that species adaptation po yun, natural adaptation. For them to plant Canarium obatum, it will not really grow better. Just like what US in Hawaii, ILO, Hawaii plant facility. They have a nursery they started in 1950s pa. And yet they could not really produce much better quality of Canarium obatum. They have a lot of Canarium species there, Canarium varieties, but they could not really produce in a commercial volume for the planting materials, even for planting materials, because the adaptation of the natural species that limits. In the same way with Australia, they have Canarium indicum. They do it on a commercial basis right now. They are already in a big commercial production, but they could not have the Canarium obatum. It's because they say the species itself has its own limitations. So if we can pass a resolution for the whole country to prohibit the exportation of this natural Canarium family, then that would be better for the industry so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Joris. Do you have to share something po? Department of Agriculture, Sir Ronald?
Good afternoon ulit. Sir Joris, mas maganda po siguro yung PhilPili mismo ang gagawa ng resolutions, then the DA will endorse. Then siguro, kung nakikinig pa si Congressman Lagman, siguro ilalaban tayo doon sa Congress para mabigyan ng sapat ng attention ang pili industry sa Bicol region.
Opo, we will prepare the resolution and we will submit it to your office for review for further comments, especially for the technical team from the BPI. Thank you, Ronald.
Yes, po. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Ronald, Sir Joris, Ma'am Rosalina, Sir Chris, and Sir Louis for sharing to us your insights on this query. So from one government agency, we have the next. So this question is for the Department of Trade and Industry. One of our viewers has raised a question. Is there a shared service facility for pili nut processors in Bicol region? This is to help MSMEs in pili MSMEs, specifically PILI processors, in terms of product development and quality testing? So anyone from the Department of Trade and Industry could answer to this query. Thank you very much.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Merla.
Yes. We have shared service facility projects located in Casiguran with the PIPAS as the cooperator.
Thank you very much po, Ma'am Merla, for enlightening us as to the shared service facility available for our MSME, specifically our PILI processors. Thank you po. So let's now have one of the questions raised from our viewers. So this is for Ma'am Mortega, and one of our researcher from Catanduanes State University. So a question here was from our viewer. What is the difference between the pili pulp powder and the pili pulp flour?
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Mortega. Good afternoon po.
Hello.
Hello po. Go ahead po. Opo, yes po. We can hear you po.
Okay. If I could answer, in ayaw, wala mo.